Hello and Assalamu alaikum. This is Ali Abbas, and I'm going to start our new topic. And the topic is basically graphs of linear inequalities. Uh, Before starting this, we need to cover some basic concepts of coordinate geometry. So I'm quickly explaining all of these topics means related to coordinate geometry, and then I will come up to few of the type of questions that usually come in your past papers. So first of all, going into, we can say, going to start coordinate geometry concepts. So for coordinate geometry, we need to understand basically the equation of straight lines. Okay, in coordinate geometry, we are mainly discussing about the equations of straight line. Okay, so first of all, I'm explaining that what type of equations are basically we are discussing that are basically straight line equations. We are just discussing straight line equations. Straight line equations. So for starting this, I'm making few of the lines and then we'll write down their answers first of all before asking you, and then I will show you the results. So coming up to you can say drawing. I'm drawing few of the lines. First of all, this is a line. So any of you, can you please write down in the chat what is the equation of this line? Hurry up, I'm waiting for the answers. Yes. What is the equation of this straight line that is passing at, you can say at x-axis at point 2? Basically, we can say x-intercept is 2. Yes, you're right. You're right. You all are right. The equation of this line is x equals to 2. Okay. So why it is x equals to, why not y? There is a reason actually on this complete line. On this complete line, all of the values of x are same. Only there is a change in y. You can see, you can take any of the coordinate on this line. You can see the coordinates of x are same at each and every point lying on this straight line. Okay, we can just deduct the line that is parallel to y-axis. The line that is parallel to y-axis is having equation x equals to something. Parallel to y-axis is having equation x equals to some point, we can say. Okay, some point. So point is basically, the point is basically, we can simply you can say answer this thing as x intercept. Okay, the point at where the graph cuts x axis is known as x intercept. So this thing is x intercept here. So we can simply write down our equation as x equals to some point is basically known as x intercept. So what about the line that is exactly passing on y-axis? I say if the equation that is, I can say it is passing from on the y-axis, what will be the equation? Is there any value of x on this y-axis? There is no value, because no value means I'm saying that is there any plus value or minus value on this line? We can say the value is just 0. So on y-axis, the equation of line is x equals to 0, because the value of x on each and every point on y-axis is 0. Okay, this is the concept I wanted from you to be, you can say, understand quite easily through this. I hope so all of you understood this. So now coming up to the next kind of equations that are dealing with, I can say, the line that are parallel to x-axis. So I'm simply drawing few of the lines and then we'll ask you a few of the questions from it. Okay, so I'm drawing this line. So what will be the equation of this line? Hurry up, hurry up. I'm waiting for your responses. What is the equation of this line that is passing from uh, y-axis at point 4? Yes, you're right. You're right. You all are right. So it is basically y equals to 4. Y equals to 4. Okay, that's fine. So if the line that is passing from y-axis at any point, or we can say this is y-intercept, and this line is parallel to x-axis, is having equation y equals to some point, and that point is basically the intercept thing. Okay, that point is known as basically the intercept thing. We can say that is y-intercept. So the lines that are parallel to x-axis are having equation y equals to y-intercept. Okay, so we can simply express this thing as the lines that are parallel to x-axis are having the equation of line that is y equals to some point, and that point is basically the y-intercept. That is y-intercept. And if the line that is exactly passing on the x-axis, so what will be the equation? So I'm simply expressing that line and showing that line, and you can see uh, this line that is exactly lying on x-axis. So what will be the equation? We can simply express same as the concept which we have done earlier. That was if the line lying on y-axis is having x equals to 0, the equation. And what about the other line that is y equals to 0? Okay, so this is the concept I wanted from you, all of you, to understand quite easily through these straight lines. Okay, one is parallel to x-axis, the other one is parallel to y-axis. So there are two concepts that we have done right now. So I'm going up to the third concept quite quickly, and then we will cover a few of the questions, inshallah. Okay, I'm drawing a line, a simple straight line that is not parallel to any one of the axes. So what we have to do there? Okay, I'm simply drawing a line that is starting from 0 and goes on and reaching this point. So how to write down the equation of line? This is the thing that I wanted from you to, you can say, to make your concepts clear about this thing. This is not parallel to x-axis and as well as y-axis. So what we have to start, where we have to start? Actually, I'm simply writing down for these lines, we have to go into the equation of straight line, the standard form of it. So it is y equals to mx plus c. M is the gradient thing. Okay, this is basically, we can say in simple terms, it is rise over run, or we can say the change in y-axis divided by the change in x-axis. And c is basically the point at where the graph cuts y-axis, and we can simply say in simple terms, it is y-intercept. So this is y-intercept. So I'm taking, I'm starting from the y-intercept concept. Okay, so what is y-intercept for this line? What is y-intercept? Means the value of c. We can simply say the point where graph cuts y-axis is y-intercept. So we can simply see from this graph graph is cutting just at 0 point. So we can simply say this value of C for this line is C equals to 0. But what about the gradient? So we can simply write down the formula for the gradient that we have already studied in coordinate geometry, that is y2 minus y1 whole divided by x2 minus x1. So we can take any of the 2 points lying on this line for finding the gradient. This is a concept that you can understand it quite easily. Like if I say I'm taking this point, what are the coordinates? In x-axis, you can see it is 8, and as well as in y-axis, it's also 8. So I'm writing down the coordinates of this point. That's 8 comma 8. I can take any other point. I can take this one, origin. Yes, it's lying on origin, and the coordinates are 0 and 0. So what is the gradient? Gradient is basically, we can say any one of the point as first point. I can simply say this is first point. X1 comma y1 means x1 is 0 and y1 is also 0. What about the other point? It is x2 and y2. So what is y2? Y2 is 8. And what about y1? That is 0 divided by x2. X2 is 8 and x1 is also 0. So what about the gradient? Gradient comes as, what is the value of gradient? 8 divided by 8 is 1. Okay, so what about the equation of straight line? If gradient is 1 and value of C is 0, what will be the equation of straight line? If we substitute the values of M and C in this standard form of quadratic equation, what is the answer? That is y equals to x. Okay, because gradient is 1, so 1 times x is 1. So we can simply write down this is y equals to x. So if the line that is not parallel to any one of the x's, we have to deal it as the equation of, we have to deal in the standard form of equation of straight line. And then we need to find the y-intercept and as well as the gradient. And we have to simply replace gradient and y-intercept values in that equation, and we can simply express these type of equations as like this. So if you understand all of these three conditions, then we can go ahead for, you can say, having our graphical inequalities concept. So any questions? So this is first of the concept. This is first of the concept that in your past paper questions, you can see this is from May, June 2016. And you can see there is a region R that is defined by 4 of the lines. Okay, 4 of the lines because there are 4 corners of this region. So this means that there must be 4 inequalities that satisfy region R. So first of all, we have to recognize which of the equations, which one of them are the lines that are parallel to x-axis or parallel to y-axis. So first of all, I'm talking about this line. It is a solid line. And what about the equation of this line? The equation of this line is y equals to 3. Okay, the equation is y equals to 3. And if the line, that is, you can say, parallel to x-axis, we have to, you can say, look at the region, that whether the region is above this line or below this line. So then we can simply write down in terms of inequalities. So now you can see equation is y equals to 3 and the region is lying above it. You can say we have to look in y-axis. Why? Because the subject in this case is y. So y equals to something means y is taken as the subject. So the region is above this. So the region is satisfied by this inequality as y is greater than equals to y equals to, because the line is a solid line. It is not a dotted line, it is a solid line, so it is represented as like this. So what about the other line? This line, this is a dotted line, and we don't have to put an equals to sign in our final inequality answer. For starting this, we need to write down an like an equation of line, so that we can do anything from it. So what is the equation of this dotted line? It is passing from 4 at y-axis, and the equation will be y equals to 4. Look at the region. Is the region above this line, or it is lying below this line? So we can simply see the region is below this line. So we can simply write down the answer as y is smaller than 4. Okay, well, we don't have to put the equals to sign, because it is a dotted line. So if the line that is parallel to x-axis, or we can say it is passing from any one point on y-axis, we can simply see the region as whether the region is above this line or below. If it is above this line, we have to put a greater than sign, and if it is lying, the region is lying below that line, so it means that we have to put smaller than sign. So coming up to the next answer, next inequality, what will be the next inequality? You can see we are discussing about the other line that is parallel to y-axis. So this line is parallel to y-axis, and you can simply see this line is passing from x equals to 2. So at each and every point on this line, the values of x are constant. So the equation of line is simply written as x equals to 2. This is equation of the line, but what about the inequality? So you can see this is one of the case, just this is only one case that in which we have to look at the region, whether it is left or right, because the subject in this case is x. So you can simply see the region is just lying right towards this line. So what about this? If we are going towards right, what will be happening to the values of x? X is increasing. So that's why I can simply write down x is greater than or equals to 2. Why I'm putting equals to? Because this line is a solid line. So we have done the 3 answers. What about the fourth one? For the fourth one, we need to apply that you can say standard form of equation of straight line. So that was actually y equals to mx plus c. Okay, for finding this equation, first of all, what we have to do, we have to find the y-intercept. C is the y-intercept we have discussed earlier. What is the y-intercept? You can simply see from this line, it is passing at, you can say, at this point, on that point, y is 0. So we can simply say the value of c is 0. What about the gradient? We have to take any of the 2 points. You can see if I take this is as the first point at the origin, it is 0 comma 0, and I'm taking the last point. You can take any well-defined point, so that you can do the answers quite easily. It is 5 comma 5. I'm taking this as the second point, x2 y2, and I'm taking this as the first point, x1 y1. So simply put these values in the gradient, and you will be having your answers quite easily. Okay, it is 5 minus 0 divided by x2 is also 5, and x1 is 0. So what about the answer? Answer is 1. So gradient is 1, and you how we can say deduct the answer of gradient through this graph? Or you can say just in one look, you can see if there is increase in 1 unit on x-axis, there is increase in you can say on y-axis as 1 as well. So if I take 1, the value of y is also 1. If we take x equals to 2, you can see the answer, it's x equals to 2. Means there is just increase of 1 value. Okay, so this is the value of the gradient. So we need to put the value of this gradient and as well as that c value, and we have to replace in that equation of straight line, and that will be our equation of straight line. So what will be the equation of straight line? That will be y equals to x. But how to represent in terms of inequality? You can simply see what is the subject in this case. The subject is y as well. So you can see whether the region is above this line. You can take any point on it and draw a perpendicular line to it. Perpendicular means that is parallel to y-axis. I'm actually, my mean is this. I'm taking a point and take a vertical line on it, and we can simply say the region is above this line. So we can simply express the answer as y is greater than x. There is no equal to sign because this is a dotted line. So I'm simply writing down all of the answers you have done already. That is y is smaller than 4, first one. The other one is y is greater than equals to 3, and the other one is x is greater than or equals to 2. And the last one is y is greater than x. Okay, this is just one type of the questions, one type of the questions. We will discuss in the next video about the next type of questions that are actually, you can say, coming in your exams about the graphs of linear inequalities. Okay, take care of yourself.